Okay, so we all saw it, right? Messi hoisting that World Cup trophy. I mean, talk about a victory, right? The stuff of legends. But you know what? Today's deep dive, it's about a different kind of win. It's about the kind that lasts a lifetime. You know what I mean? We're going deeper, beyond the goals and the glory, and taking a look at Lionel Messi's, well, love story, his relationship with Antonella Roccuzzo.
Definitely refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're always hearing about these fleeting romances. And the scandals, oh man, the scandals of the rich and famous never ends. But with Messi and Antonella, it's different. They offer something else. Something, dare I say, more real.
Right. You'd think a guy practically worshipped by millions, this football god, would have, like, the most insane love life. I mean, we see it all the time, those whirlwind romances, the ones that end up on every magazine cover. But here's the kicker, Antonella. She's no trophy wife, not even close. She's got her own thing going on, her own goals. And frankly, that's what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating to me. We've got all these articles here, and they paint a picture of a bond, a real connection that goes way, way back to their childhood in Argentina.
Back to Rosario, to be exact.
Yeah.
Long before those packed stadiums, before the global fame, their story starts simple. Just picture it. Two kids playing in their hometown, totally oblivious to what the future holds. I mean, isn't that how it always begins?
It's like a storybook, right? Childhood sweethearts. But how young are we talking here? Was this like a little kid crush or something more?
Oh, it's way more. Get this, Messi was 5. 5 years old when he first laid eyes on Antonella. Some things, well, it's like they're destined.
5? No way. At that age, I was all about my action figures and peanut butter sandwiches. To have that kind of connection that young is kind of mind-blowing. So obviously this wasn't just a passing thing.
Oh, absolutely not. Even then, they had this bond, this
Yeah.
understanding. There are stories about Messi writing her love letters
Yeah.
as a kid. I mean, come on, how cute is that?
Love letters at 5. That is adorable.
Yeah. Okay. But their little Rosario bubble couldn't last forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Messi was 13, things changed. He's got this massive opportunity to move to Spain to really chase the football dream. I can't even imagine at 13 having to make that call, leaving everything you know, including, what, your first love? It really shows his dedication, his drive. But yeah, think about Antonella, too. Having this childhood, this connection, and then, boom, distance.
Yeah. Teenage love and distance. Not exactly a recipe for success. So what happened? Did they even try to stay in touch once he was in Spain?
They tried. They really did
Yeah.
to keep things going. But life happened. It wasn't until tragedy struck that things really shifted for them. Antonella's best friend died young. Car accident. Just awful.
Oh, gosh, that's terrible, especially so young.
It was devastating. And you know what Messi did? He dropped everything. Training, everything. Flew right back to Argentina to be with her.
To support it. That says it all, doesn't it? Actions over words, always. Even with the distance, his connection with her, it was stronger. Makes you think about the impact that kind of shared experience must have had on them. To go through something so painful and to have each other. It forms a bond you can't really break.
It did. That shared pain, it solidified things between them. Like it brought them even closer, if that's even possible.
It's really something, finding that kind of strength in another person when you need it most. But, while all of this is happening, Antonella is out there building her own life, too. She wasn't about to just be, Lionel Messi's girlfriend, right? This is a woman with goals.
Oh, absolutely. She totally defies those stereotypical wag tropes.
Yeah.
While the world kind of expects these women to just be arm candy, Antonella's out there getting not 1, but 2 degrees.
2 degrees. Okay, hold on. What does she study? What was she drawn to?
She dove headfirst into humanities and social sciences. Talk about a thirst for knowledge, huh? And get this, she even started studying dentistry at one point.
Dentistry. Wow. It takes a special kind of person for that kind of field. It's like you have to be smart, compassionate. You want to actually help people. It's not just your average career path.
Definitely not. And it makes you wonder, why dentistry? What was it about that field that called to her?
Right. It really makes you think. Maybe it was that hands-on aspect, or maybe she just wanted to make a tangible difference in the world.
It's a good question. And on top of all that, she's also a successful model
Hmm.
and a businesswoman. Talk about a triple threat.
This woman is unstoppable. It's so great to see a couple where they both have their own things going on. Like they support each other's growth without holding each other back.
Totally. It seems like mutual respect is a big part of their relationship. That and this really admirable commitment to privacy. They were together for years, and you didn't hear a peep. You
Yeah.
know, no scandals, no drama for the tabloids. They just quietly built a life together.
That's almost unheard of these days, isn't it? I mean, think about it. In the age of Instagram and, everyone sharing everything, their choice to keep things private is huge.
It really is. It shows how much they value their relationship, how they're protecting it from all the craziness.
Choosing real over the spotlight, I respect that.
Yeah.
So how did that play out once they started a family?
Well, their first son, Tiago, he came along in 2012. Then Mateo in 2015 and Ciro in 2018. And when it came time to make it official, to tie the knot, guess what? They went back to Rosario for the wedding.
No way. They got married in their hometown. That's incredible. They could have had this lavish ceremony anywhere in the world, but they chose the place where it all began.
Exactly. That says so much about who they are, don't you think?
Yeah.
Their values, their grounding.
See, they never forgot where they came from. Love that. Okay, so we talked about the timeline, their individual journeys, but let's be real. What's their secret? What's the magic ingredient that makes this love story last?
Right. Everyone wants to know the formula. Well, from what these articles say, it seems like it boils down to shared values. Family is number one for both of them, which makes sense, right? They've created this stable, loving home for their kids, even with everything else going on in their lives.
Yeah, and they're really protective of their kids too, aren't they? You barely see them, even with Messi being, well, messy.
Exactly. It's like they're trying to give them a normal childhood as much as possible. And besides family, the other big one is loyalty. These two, they're loyal to each other, obviously, but also to their friends, their families, the people who were there before any of this other stuff.
It's pretty rare to see that these days, that kind of loyalty. It's like they never forgot where they came from, who was important to them. Speaking of things that are rare to see, did I read that right? Antonella isn't really into football.
You did. It's true. At least that's what some of these articles say. Pretty wild, right? I mean, your husband's like the GOAT of the sport, and you're not even watching the games. But
Wow.
It kind of makes their story even more interesting, don't you think?
Totally. It means it's not about the fame or any of that, right? Their love, it's not because she's some diehard fan or anything. It's deeper than that.
Way deeper. Shared values, that mutual respect we talked about, that support for each other's dreams. That's what it's all about. And that's something everyone can relate to, right? Whether you're a football fan or not.
100%. But, okay, let's be real. It can't be all sunshine and roses, right? Messi's life is intense, the pressure, all those eyes on them, even with the strongest love. There's got to be some bumps in the road.
Definitely. And some of these articles, they do hint at those challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to keep things normal with that level of fame can't be easy. Yeah. But this is where Antonella really shines, I think. She's his rock, there for him, keeping him grounded.
She's more than just supportive, though, right? She's got her own thing going on, like we talked about, finding that balance, being there for your partner, but also having your own identity. That can't be easy either.
Not at all. But she makes it work. I mean, she's his biggest supporter, obviously, but she's also the one holding down the fort, managing the family, making sure the kids have as normal a life as possible.
It reminds you, behind every great man and all that, it's a true partnership, isn't it? They each have their roles, their strengths, and they respect that.
Totally. And Messi knows it, too. There's this quote from him, I think it really sums it up. He said, "Without Antonella, I wouldn't be where I am today."
Man, that's real, isn't it? He's not just saying it to be sweet. He knows how important she is to him. To his whole life, really. Not just as his wife, but as a person.
Exactly. He sees her, and that's beautiful. It's two people achieving great things and acknowledging each other along the way.
So as we wrap things up here, I think we're left with something pretty powerful. The world's all about the next win, the next big thing, but Messi and Antonella, they show us that real success. It's about the things that last, the love, the loyalty, the shared values. It might sound simple, but honestly, it's pretty inspiring. What do you think?
Couldn't agree more. It's like a reminder, that even amidst all the craziness, that kind of love exists. And who knows, maybe that's Messi's real legacy, even more than all those goals. It's a pretty amazing thought.